Oh, Becca, I almost didn't recognize you in that vintage Navy thing. I'm Rebecca Cole. I'm 38. And that was the first thing my sister Chloe said to me at our high school reunion, while standing under a spotlight, wearing a dress that cost more than my flight here. She had the mic, the crowd, the title, Deputy Director of Cyber Oversight. Me? A no-name tag and a folding chair near the buffet. They laughed like I was the family joke that wouldn't die. But what none of them knew, I wasn't there for validation. I was there because someone had breached a top-level NATO protocol, and I needed 48 hours to close the net before the damage hit global systems. They thought I was a ghost from the past. They had no idea I was the fulcrum of the future. Have you ever been dismissed too soon? Drop 1 if you've been underestimated. Drop 2 if they learned too late. The ballroom shimmered like a gala in DC, but my name card sat at table 14, wedged between the buffet trays and a flickering sconce. No gold embossing, no title, just Rebecca Cole, like a mistake someone felt obligated to print. I passed rows of white linen tables labeled with senators, CEOs, and Chloe Cole in cursive gold. Of course. I sat alone, half a shrimp cocktail abandoned in front of me, while applause swelled for Chloe on stage. She stood there like she owned the room. I just want to thank my sister Rebecca, she beamed, for always being uniquely herself. Laughter, polite, pointed. They didn't know it was a punchline. I did. I'd heard that tone since we were kids. Jason Hart appeared, same smug smirk as senior year. Becca, he said, swirling his drink. You still in the desert, or did you retire to pushing paper? Before I could answer, a woman leaned over and whispered to another. Didn't she drop out of law school? Shame. So much potential. Chloe stopped by later, gleaming with fake warmth. Navy vintage? Always practical, she smiled. We should catch up. I'm sure you've got stories. Stories? I had 20 years of war rooms and covert missions. She saw none of it. Didn't want to. And when someone asked if I'd really been in the army, they laughed, like I was pretending. What, like a clerk? Or mess hall sergeant? Jason raised his glass. Chloe stayed silent. I stayed seated, but inside I was boiling. I had buried friends for that uniform. I'd briefed NATO while they took Instagram photos. But in this room, I was still just Becca, the sister who faded. I stepped onto the balcony, the air cooler than the ballroom's curated success. My encrypted phone pinged in my clutch, a silent tremor only I could feel. It was a new intercept flag, marked urgent, Merlin Protocol. They laughed at the woman in the navy dress, but under that fabric, tucked beneath civilian stillness, was a clearance ring known only to a handful of commanders in the world. They didn't see the briefings, the secure rooms, the chain of decisions that haunted me in the quiet. I'd authorized missions where the success rate was under 50%. I'd written letters to mothers of soldiers I couldn't save. But none of that earned me a place at the front tables. Jason came out after his third drink. You used to be someone, he said. Valedictorian track, Ivy League track. And then, poof. Army? I didn't answer. I just looked out over the golf course. I didn't disappear, Jason, I said quietly. I just stopped explaining myself. Chloe showed up again minutes later, arm in arm with him. They're asking for the golden trio photo, she chirped. Oh, Rebecca, you're still here? That smile. All charm, all poison. Still somewhere hot? She asked. Hope you're not out of work. I manage fine, I replied, just not from behind podiums. Her eyes narrowed slightly. The show was slipping. Inside, the reunion swelled again. Laughter, slideshows, someone toasting Chloe as the Iron Lady. Jason clinked glasses with her. Someone joked about generals. Unless you're peeling potatoes in Nebraska. No one looked my way. And yet, every time my phone buzzed, it wasn't a LinkedIn ping. It was the Pentagon. Melissa, watching from a distance, murmured as I passed her later. You look better than all of them. I doubt they agree. Truth doesn't need a majority vote, she said. I smiled faintly. She saw. Not everything, but enough. That night I locked my hotel door and opened the black case. Fingerprint. Retinal scan. Cole Rebecca. Clearance Echo 5. The Merlin protocol was live. NATO was watching. And I had 48 hours. They saw a has-been. They had no idea I was the firewall. The ballroom lights dimmed. The MC took the mic. And now, he beamed, our most distinguished alumni award goes to the incomparable Deputy Director Chloe Cole. The applause shook the chandeliers. Chloe ascended like royalty, scarlet dress flawless, smile engineered. I'm just doing my job, she began. But I guess over time we see who rises and who fades. Laughter. Polite. Sharp. Then she added, not everyone wants or can handle the spotlight. I didn't move, but Melissa turned sharply toward me. Her eyes weren't soft this time. They were stunned. Jason raised a toast. To Chloe, our Iron Lady. Way better than hiding in the shadows, unless you're peeling potatoes on base in Nebraska. More laughter. And that's when I stood, quietly. No fanfare. I walked toward the exit, heels silent on the carpet, through rows of people who had already decided my story ended years ago. Jason called out, slurring slightly. Rebecca, wait, I didn't stop. Outside, under the dark sky, I looked up, not for clarity, but to remember. I had once led a mission so classified, the only proof of its success was a sealed line on an encrypted server. No medals, no name. Just operation completed. My phone buzzed again. Extraction cleared, helipad ETA 6 minutes. Inside, they toasted to futures that were polished and public. But outside, the air shifted. Then the sky broke open. A low thunder roared across the lawn. People screamed. A black military helicopter descended through the treetops, slicing wind into chaos. Glasses shattered, napkins flew, Chloe's champagne spilled. When the rotors calmed, Colonel Marcus Ellison stepped out in full uniform, crossed the grass without glancing at anyone. He stopped in front of me, saluted. Lieutenant General Cole, ma'am. Pentagon requests your presence. Immediate briefing. Gasps. Phones lifted. Someone dropped a drink. Jason whispered, no, what? Chloe stood frozen, one heel missing, clutch in hand, eyes wide. I didn't flinch. I just met Ellison's gaze and nodded once. Everything they thought I wasn't stood right in front of them. The morning after the reunion, the fallout began. My inbox flooded with media requests. News anchors, op-eds, even late-night satire. Some called me a deep state cosplay. Others called me a ghost. Then came the blow. Chloe's podcast dropped less than 12 hours after my extraction. My Sister the Myth, she titled it. She called me a military narcissist. Said I'd weaponized rank for legacy theater. She said I ghosted my own family, only to reappear when cameras rolled. The Pentagon flagged it immediately. You're trending on Reddit, ma'am, Monroe said. TikTok edits. Hashtags. Hashtag Sister in Shadows. Hash PR General. I prefer not to engage, I said. You don't have that luxury, Monroe replied. They're tying your name to Merlin. That makes it battlefield. And then came Melissa with the folder. A Medal of Honor file. Mine, from 2018, buried. Blocked by one person. Chloe. She'd used her DOJ email to request the submission be dropped, citing Rebecca's desire for anonymity. I never wrote that, but she was listed as my emergency contact. She didn't just erase your presence, Melissa whispered. She erased your legacy. Jason confirmed it. She had asked the school to remove my name from the alumni honor list. Said I requested it. No one questioned her. Now she was rallying alumni to block my recognition again. Called it protecting the brand. So I showed up. Not invited, not announced. The auditorium buzzed with press, students, and proud banners that read legacy and leadership. Chloe took the stage in pearls and posture. Success, she said, isn't about medals. It's about showing up. I walked up the aisle, full uniform, folder in hand. Gasps, shutters clicked. The alumni chair hesitated, then nodded. I took the podium. I said nothing at first. then lifted a single photo. Me, saluting at NATO command beside General Aubrey Clean. Silver star visible. "I'm Rebecca Cole," I said. "Class of 2003. And I've been here. Quietly. Constantly. While others erased." I laid out the files. Briefs, nominations, redacted citations. "Some of us protect in silence," I said. "That doesn't make us invisible. It makes us essential." The Medal of Honor came in silence. No parade. No confetti. Just a white tent on the south lawn. Flags. Officers. And a nation watching. The president placed the ribbon around my neck. "Lieutenant General Rebecca Cole," he said. Chose silence. "But it's time we say her name out loud." Applause followed, not thunderous but steady. Earnest. I didn't smile. Not right away. I stood tall, uniform immaculate, years of secrets stitched into the seams. From the third row, I saw Melissa, and next to her, Chloe. No pearls this time. No podium. Just her hand resting quietly on the program, eyes locked on me. Present. Finally. Later, I declined a West Wing office. I chose a classroom at Fort Liberty instead. 30 cadets, some barely 20. One asked, "Ma'am, what do you do when the system forgets you?" I answered, "You lead anyway, and you document everything." They laughed, but they understood. One day, outside the lecture hall, Chloe waited. No makeup, just a camera bag and a quiet apology. "I didn't know how to exist next to you," she said. I didn't answer right away, but I didn't turn away either. We started a project together, leading in silence, not about medals, about choice. And one spring afternoon, I stood beside her as the school unveiled a bronze plaque. My name. No titles, no ranks, just Rebecca Cole, integrity in silence. I turned to the students gathered nearby. "You don't need the spotlight to leave a legacy," I said. "You just need to keep showing up, even when no one claps." That day, someone whispered, "She's the reason I applied." That was enough. If Rebecca's story touched something in you, share it. Because somewhere out there, another woman is being erased. And your voice might be what reminds her. She was never invisible.